Hi guys, welcome to another tutorial. This is not a selfless plug, but I need this here to show you guys what we're going to be creating today. Today we are going to be working on a menu system. So here you can see I've got different menus that are available that can give us different things. We can go to different levels, different game modes, different amount of players, and then a basic control thing. I'm not going to show you guys how to make all of that. What I'm going to show you guys how to make is a menu that will allow you to enter the game, quit the game, or change the screen resolution, so we can go through some basic settings. So I'm actually just going to kill that real quick, and we're going to get rid of Technoball. Goodbye, game. Right, so let's begin in here. What we're going to do is we're just going to double check what map we're on. We're on the third person example map. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly save this as a new map, he says, while the shortcut didn't work. Let's put this into the tutorial content, main menu, and we'll call this main menu. So now we have a level, which is the main menu level. So I'm going to get rid of some stuff that we don't want. We don't want him or him or him, and he can go. We're just going to use this, and I'm just going to maybe have, I don't know, this area be where it's going to show our actual menu. So the first thing we need to do is I just need to make sure that my blueprint's empty, because I don't need anything in there. It is good. We're going to grab a camera. So camera, boink, and then I'm just going to put this into a position that I like. And I know that I want to be in this corner, sort of. This is where I'm going to have my menu situated. Maybe like so, a little bit this way. There we are. Now, with this still selected, I'm going to go into the level blueprint. I'm going to right click and create a reference to that, because I'm going to need that in a moment. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to say, let's just move my phone, sorry about that. Event, begin play. There we go. Event begin play. And what we're going to do is we're going to set view. Why you know that? Okay, we'll drag off of here. We need to get player controller, and from the return value, set view target with blend. The camera goes into the new view target, and we plug event begin play into here. So now, if we were to go into here and I go over here, if we press play, we should be locked into this camera, and we are. You can see we've got a little guy there by default. It's because it's trying to give us a pawn. This is our player start. Let's get rid of him. Oh, why is he still there? You cheeky devil. Okay. I could just remove the thing, but you know. There we go. Now we can't see our awkward little guy in the corner. So that's because I haven't changed the game mode. You'll have your own game mode and you'll turn off your player character here, but I'm not going to bother doing that because I'm just showing you guys how to make a menu. So that's going to force our camera to be where we want it. Okay, now this should only happen for this level. We can pretty much assume that if we load another level, that will get its own camera, because that blueprint isn't going to be affected by this level's blueprint. So what do we need to do? We need to make ourselves a lovely thingamajig widget. So right click, user interface, widget blueprint, main underscore menu underscore widget. I left that A in there. I thought I deleted that. Let's get rid of that A. Main menu. Thank you. And we're going to open this up, and now we have our canvas. This is our widget. This is a user interface. This is where you're going to build anything that you want to be shown on the screen. So we have a canvas already. As you can see here, it's this green box, which is our canvas panel. We can rename this if we want. I might quickly rename this to main menu canvas, so I know what it is. Now, what I'm going to need is I'm going to need some stuff. So the first thing I'm going to grab is a text, and I'm going to drag this onto the main menu canvas. Now, I'm going to place give it to me. There we go. I'm going to make this quite a large text box because I'm going to enter some stuff. So we're going to go to text and we're going to say play. I'm going to put that right in the middle. And I'm actually going to increase its size to maybe 50. There we go. So I have play. I'm going to try and line it up in the center if I can. Now, this is its anchor point. The anchor point acts as an anchor point. So, however big the screen is, this is anchored to this position. So it's always going to be here relative to where the anchor is on the canvas. So if I put the canvas middle, which is like 50-50, we should always get him be here. Now, hopefully. Now what we're going to do is we are going to go to the text play over here, and we're going to right click, and we actually want to wrap with a button. And now it's going to make sure that we have a button on top. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to rename this button to the play_button, so we can use it in a little while. And now we're going to get another text and drag this onto the canvas as well. In fact, maybe I'm just going to copy this one and paste it, because it didn't keep the size anyway. So just make a fresh one. We're going to try and get this to be about the same size as this one. I could copy the things, but let's quickly change this. We're going to say options on this one, and then we'll right click this, wrap with a button. Now the button size, let's try and make this 350 by 105. So we can get 350, 105. There we go. So now these are going to be the same size as each other. There we are. And now I'm going to put this into the middle. There we are. And again, I'm going to do the same. Another text block, 50 in size. And this one's going to say quit. Quit. I'm going to just blow this up a bit. Center, justify it. Right click, wrap with button. And I'm going to set the button to be, I think it was 350, 105. It was. Memory, yay. Okay, so now I'm going to go to our second button, which is the options button. I'm going to name this appropriate. Options_button. And the same with the quit button. Quit_button. And now the reason I'm doing that is so that I can find these a lot easier while we're messing with blueprints. So I'm just going to quickly go back to the level blueprint, which has decided to open itself here. And now what I'm going to do is, from the set view target with blend, I'm going to create a widget. We're going to select our widget, which is our main menu widget. There we go. We want to get player controller. Plug this into the owning player, so we make sure that the same player is getting this. From the return value, add to viewport. There we are. So if I add to viewport, and now what I actually want to do from here is I want to set show. And now if we turn off context sensitive, we can get mouse cursor, so we can make sure that the mouse can be seen. And we're going to plug the player controller in here. So now, if we were to press play, we should get our little menu pop up, and we have our mouse cursor. Now, see how this quit button isn't aligned? It's because it's anchored to this top corner. So let's quickly head into that, and we're going to place this in 50-50. There. We'll compile that real quick, and if we press play, the quit button is also aligned. And you can click these. Now, what we can do with these buttons is we can say, maybe I don't want them to be this color, so we can go into style, and we can actually add some images to these buttons if we wish, or we can just tint them, so we can maybe say we want them to be purple. We'll just choose this blue. You can also change the way they look when they're hovered. So say if when it's hovered we want it to actually be green, if the mouse is floating over it. If we quickly compile that and we play, you can see it's blue, and if we hover it's green. And when we click we get a totally different color. So you can do things to make them more interactable, so we can get these nice little colors coming out of here. So I'm just going to actually reset these back, because I'm just going to go with a basic for here. So what do we want to do? What we want to do is we're going to go into our graph, and we're actually going to delete these. And if we select one of our buttons here, which are now variables, we can see that we've got these different events down here. So we're going to say play button on clicked, and we'll get on clicked play button. What we're going to do is drag off of this, and we're going to open level. And the level is the third person example map. I think that's what it's called. So let's just quickly go into the third person. It's not in there. Where are you at? Third person maps. Third person example map. So if we press play, if we hit this button now, it loads our third person example map. Yay! Here's the window we just built in the other tutorial. Woohoo! Okay, so this play button now works. It takes us to the level that we need. So what's the next thing we're going to do? We are going to do our quit button. So let's just quickly comment this. If we select these and press C, we can comment. Let's say start game. So now we know that that's where we need to be to start our game. So we're actually going to, from the quit button, unclicked. What we're going to do is land on my trackpad. Silly me. Come on. Quit game. There we go. That's that. Comment. Quit game. And if we compile this, we can minimize this down. We can say play. And then if we press quit, it will close. So that's all lovely jubbly. So the only thing now we're going to do is we're going to run through some very, very rapid options. So when we click the options button, what do we want to do? We want to open up a new menu, but we kind of don't want to open up a new menu, or at least I don't want us to open up a new menu. And just excuse me one moment, I'm going to have a quick sip of tea. There we are, getting a little bit dry. So we want a new menu, but we don't want to open a new menu. So what we're actually going to do is I'm going to make some new buttons. So I'm going to say text, put it here. That's a text box. We don't want a text box. Silly me. Text. There you go. Now what I'm going to do is drag this out. And we'll center justify this. And now I need to try and remember some resolutions. So 1920 by 1080. And we're just going to quickly wrap that in a button. Boink. We'll get another one. Plop that there. Text block. And drag him to about here. Center justify. Now I can't remember any of the nice things, so I'm going to go into my... It's in here. Idiot. Right. So we'll say this one is... where's the text? There it is. 1280 by 720. And then we're going to wrap this in a button. Wrap with button. There you go. Now let's just get these buttons. 310 66. I'll do the same with this one. 310 66. So I want these to be the same size. And then excuse me. You know what? 2 is enough, because, well, I just need to show you guys how this works, so 2 is enough. 2 is enough. So we're going to put one here, and we'll leave one here. I'm going to rename the button to res underscore 1. And this button, oh, come on. Windows, details. He's clicking everything wrong. Come on. Res underscore 2. Right. Now what we need to do is we're actually going to bind their visibility. I need another button. We need another button. So text. Actually, quickly, 50%, 50%. And this button, 50%, 50%. There we go. Another text onto the canvas. And this guy is going to be down here. Center justify him, and this is going to be just back. And we'll set it the same as this, which was 31066. So wrap with a button. Select the button. 31066. So that'll be our back button to go back. back underscore button. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to bind these things to two possible states. So here we have our buttons and our visibilities. So what we have here is our different buttons. So I'm going to click the first button, which is our play button, and under behavior we have visibility. Now we want this to be visible by default, but I'm actually going to create a binding. Excuse me. And what this is going to do is it's going to allow us to link its visibility to a variable. So I'm going to add a variable, and then I'm going to call this main underscore viz, and then we need an enum viz. No, what is it? I know it's under the, there it is, eSlate visibility. I know it was under the enums, the eSlate visibility. We're going to compile this, and it's actually going to be visible by default. So we're going to grab this out, get it, plug this in. Okay, and now we have main viz. Compile. Yay. Excuse me. We're going to go back to the designer, we're going to hit the options, and we're actually going to bind this to the get play button visibility 0, because it's going to be the same. Boink. And that one. Now, for the resolutions, we're going to bind, and we're going to create a new binding, and then we're going to create a new variable. So boink. There you go. And it's already got eSlate visibility selected, and this is going to be resviz. We're going to compile this, and by default, this is actually going to be hidden. I'm going to drag this out and get this. So it's there, and compile that, and then do the same for these buttons. Bind these to get res1 visibility, because it's linked to the res1. So that's what we called the button. So now they should all share, this button, and this button should share the same visibility. So if we press play, we only get these ones. Huzzah! It's working. Now what we need to do is go back to wherever this thing is. Here it is. Ba-ba. What we're going to do is we're going to say from the options button, on clicked for options, what we're going to do is we're going to set main visibility to be invisible, hidden, and set res to be visible. So this is our options button. Options clicked. Now we're going to do a similar thing but with the back button. So back button unclicked. This time we're just going to reverse these around. So we'll just copy these over and then just switch them over. Visible to hidden. So if we compile this, we minimize this down, we press play. Now if we press the options button, we get these buttons. If we press back, we should go back. And we do. So that's all working. Awesome. And while they're invisible, you cannot click them. Awesome! So, next thing that we're going to do is we're actually going to use the resolutions. So, let's see, we'll comment this back button. What we need is we need the resolution 1 button, and we're going to say onClicked. So if this is clicked, what we're going to do is command. So we're going to execute a console command is it window resolution, game resolution? I don't think it's game resolution. I have it open here. I can never remember. Oh, set res. Never remember every single one of these. r.set res 19, 20, 10, 80. Now, if you want this to be full screen, you can hit an F, and that will full screen at the end, which is lovely. And then we can do the same with res 2. We can say onPressed. This time we'll execute a console command. We'll set res to whatever the heck it was, 1024 by something. See what I mean? I can't remember numbers. Oh no, 1280 720. What am I doing? 1280 720. This time without the F. There we go. And we'll compile that. Now what I'm going to do to make sure this is working is I'm going to run this as a standalone game. We'll save selected. And what this should do is it should open this up in its own window. And this way I can make sure that it's not the editor that's forcing the resolution. So this is going to just take a minute to boot it up. Here we go. So we're going to get the base resolution for this project. So we have play, we have quit, we have options. We can click options and we can set our resolution. Oop. Is it going to like that? It is. So there we go. It's set the resolution to 19, and then if we click this one, it should minimize it back down. It didn't window it. So it changed to res, but maybe what I need to do is add a W for window. So should we W? Not sure if that's the correct thing to press. We're just kind of winging it with the W. So let's see. Options. If we hit this, it stays the same. If we hit this, it opens up. Press this again. There we go. We needed the W for windowed. Right, so that's working now, and if we press back, we can press play, or we can go options. We can decide we want to full screen this, and then press play, and it should keep the resolution the same. And it does. Cool. So, there you have it, guys. It's a very basic window. I can't press escape to quit this out because it's full screen and standalone. If you get to this point, hit the little tilde key, which is the button next to 1, and then just type quit and hit enter, and it will close it down. Or you can Alt F4, I think, although I wouldn't trust that just in case you accidentally minimize your actual file here. So there you have it. Excuse me. The basics to main menu. Now there are more console commands that you can search for, so you can head into the documentation console commands. There we go. And we can get some different things. So you get, like, they're called cheat sheets here. You've got, can you change settings with console commands? Yes, you can. How can you? And there's loads of different things here, and they'll take you to the community hub. They'll take you to the forums. They'll take you to the documentation and all of the what are they called? Instruction manuals. Haha. And then you can find whichever ones that you actually need to change some more of this stuff. So I hope that's been helpful for some people. Other people might want something a bit more complex. You can add more complexity in there if you want to. I might do a more complex version of this in the future. But for the absolute basics on how to create a menu, there it is, guys. I hope that's been useful, and I'll see you next time.